Yeah.
And like, I guess kind of going into, taking on Build, and at that time you were writing for Gymless, which kind of has some similarities, but there are definitely differences, especially knowing that you have resources to work with when you're on the Build program. Before you took on Build, what was your own training like before that? Was it very similar to Build, or was it very different?
Yeah, before I took on Build, I was following Build. So Liam and I, Liam was the head programmer, and I would kind of help him out, give my 2 cents with, when he would send over some of the program. And kind of just give him a bit of feedback here and there and follow it, basically. That was what I love to do. I really enjoy it. And I'm really passionate about kind of training in that way. It really works for me. And that's what I was doing before taking it over. So yeah, I guess not much has changed, but a lot has changed.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's, part of our discussion too, is kind of how you made it your own. And the reason why I would say at this point is definitely your own is the Build community event that we had just a couple of days ago. So every few months, maybe once a quarter, we'll have a Build community event. Can you just walk us through that event for you, like from your eyes? Describe the event and what did you think of it this time around?
Yeah, so I think this was the 4th Build training day that I have been a part of. I did 2 when Liam was kind of running it. And then this one we just had on Saturday was the second time that I'd run it. And obviously living in Bangkok, you're kind of doing everything remotely, trying to, drum up a bit of enthusiasm and excitement about an event that's going to be happening in Hong Kong. I fly back from Bangkok to run them in-house at Coastal Fitness. And the aim is, I suppose, and always has been, that we're really well aware that we're an online program, and most of the time you are doing your training on your own, not with other people. And the interaction as a coach that I have with our subscribers, again, is all kind of through WhatsApp, maybe a bit through Instagram, but all online. A lot of the people who are following, I haven't met. So it's kind of cool to be able to connect and get to know people via WhatsApp and being kind of behind a computer, I suppose.
Fair.
But we all know that hanging out together and being in person, it's just another level.
Yeah, and that's something that I personally find surprising with the idea of Build being, as you say, a functional bodybuilding program. The reason why I say that is I think my previous perspective of bodybuilding is something like someone in a gym with gigantic headphones in their head, looking like they want zero interaction from anyone. And if it's any interaction is like to ask if the machine is free. And that in that sense, bodybuilding, however you want to call it, functional bodybuilding or straight up like competitive bodybuilding, seems like a solitary activity.
Kind of
so
activity,
for you, do you not see Build that way, or are you trying to use Build as a way to make it more interactive and more community driven?
I suppose for myself, like I never came from like a bodybuilding background in terms of, that's not how I kind of got into the gym and was training. So for me, kind of being part of a community like Coastal Fitness, that was what I was doing when I lived here. I followed LPC. I joined in some of the classes when I could, joined in with team training when we had that. And I played team sports kind of growing up. So I think always having people around me made the things that I like to do that much more enjoyable, doing it together. So I mean, being able to host the Build training days, it's all about kind of training together, building connection, meeting people, reconnecting with people, and just hanging out and just having a great time, which we don't often get to do. Like you said, we sort of run them in a dream world, you know, every quarter, but this is only the 2nd event we've run this year, and it's already nearly end of September now. So.
Yeah, but I feel like just being there was such a worthwhile
hour. Yeah, absolutely. It was awesome. I had so much fun. Everyone brought so much energy and enthusiasm. We had, quite a few people who subscribe in Hong Kong, a couple of people who flew over from Phuket and the Philippines. So, it's awesome to see that they enjoy it enough, I suppose, to make the effort to come in and join something like that, obviously it's taking a lot of effort. They're paying money to come over as well, even though the event is free. It's, kind of humbling, to be honest.
I mean, what I really liked about it in terms of contributing to that community element was the entire day was basically like partner driven in the sense that we had an icebreaker. We're playing paper, rock, scissors. Thank you, by the way, letting us know when showing
when
your
to shoot.
hand.
Yeah.
It's 1, 2, 3 shoots.
Absolutely.
I know there are people out there who shoot on 3.
Yeah.
I don't know why you would do that. It is way too early. Winner does 5 air squats, loser does 3 up downs.
Yeah.
And then going into splitting the group in half, doing lunges and then shoulder presses and rows, and then going into those conditioning intervals. So from the get-go, from the first thing to the last thing, it was always about you're partnered up with someone and you're just communicating, and you're just kind of like you're always in this space where you got to think what the other person's doing, either to coordinate or to share the same load or to change the weights for each other. Were all these things deliberate decisions that you had in the planning of it?
Absolutely. I think for this one, we wanted it to be the biggest event that we'd run, and I think we had 28 people, which I think is, the aim was 30. We're too shy, but I would still say it was a huge win for us.
That was awesome.
Yeah. So the idea was always around training and partnering up and being in groups. In the rig, we only had, I think maybe some people had sets of 3 people in the rig. Some people had 2 teams of 2. So yeah, immediately, and like you said with the icebreakers, you're kind of thrust into meeting someone maybe new, and kind of straight away you've got that person that you kind of had a chat to quickly before you played the game, and then you moved on and played against someone else, and then you meet someone else, and then immediately you're kind of into the A work, and again you're sharing the rack, and like you said, you're sort of like, hey, what do you want on? Hey, are we going to change this? Are we going to go for this? Right. And so already you kind of just continuing to build like just little times and chances to sort of chat and catch up, and it was very deliberate.
And then seeing that and kind of like the success of that kind of going from for like 5 minutes in, people are playing, 10 minutes in, people are loading up these bars, 30 minutes in, people are like, putting up some good weight on, and then 45 minutes, everyone's like on the floor.
Going hard,
going hard. Like, to what extent does that feed your energy to like keep giving to that community?
Yeah, I mean, when we get into the conditioning pieces, obviously we kind of had the music change a little bit more hype, and everyone getting more into it, and just, seeing people give their best effort, having fun, high-fiving, like you said, on the floor at the end. It's a huge drive. And like, I guess it's never, oh, cool, pat on the back, done. It's kind of like, okay, well, what was successful about this iteration, and where can we go next time? How can we make it bigger? What can I improve on? Am I going to do it at Coastal next time, or can we try and branch out and support or offer or give the opportunity for people who are, somewhere else in the world to come and join? Because again, I understand that not everyone is in Hong Kong that follows Build. So where can we go from here? And it's always that striving to, I guess, try to connect more and more people together through Build.
So give me like your hottest take, like out of 10, how do you feel about your Build community day that just transpired?
About this one, I'm still smiling. Like it was just so much fun. Like by the end of it, I didn't have a voice. I think we had people stay around afterwards, just like for some really low key food. Like we just ordered like lunch boxes, and that was really cool. I mean, because obviously the workout was done. Like, there was no, I guess, reason for people to stay by hanging out and eating. And so it was sort of, the event was finished, but people stayed for like another 90 minutes to hang, to chat, to, have some good food and just to be together.
By the end of it, I asked you and Tammy, who helped you run the class, like, how come you guys are still here? And your answer was, well, because people aren't leaving, and you need to
in a good way. Yeah, we got to close up. We got to, tidy up. But we're not going to kick people out. Exactly. Yeah. People wanted to stay and hang and have their char siu fan.
Yeah. So out of 10, that was a.
Ooh, I don't want to say a 10 out of 10 because that means it was like the best.
Perfect.
Like nothing can be improved. I would go high. It was like 8.5, 9 out of 10.
Nice, man.
So I'm really, really pleased. Yeah.